Hello and welcome to Runtime HRMS. In today's video, we will talk about performance management. Performance management is available as an add-on option on all plans of Runtime HRMS. Whether you are using basic or professional, you can go for performance management by activating it as an add-on. So to start with, when you click on the performance icon from this menu, you will see this page. It says that you are currently not subscribed to this add-on, and it explains some of the features of the software. Now, in order to subscribe it, you will be shown your current price and your current validity. The add-on for performance management is available at rupees 10 per employee per month. So whatever time is left in your subscription, this page will show you the approximate amount payable, including GST, to activate this add-on. So in order to activate it, you simply need to click on subscribe and pay now, and an invoice will be generated that you can pay to activate this add-on. Now let's go back to another account where we already have the add-on activated. So for that, I'll switch the business and I'll select another account. Over here, I can see this page, which is the landing page for performance management. Now you may notice that we do not have any period added for the performance management. That's why the numbers are not showing up here. So we will start by understanding the basic setup of performance management and various modules which are involved while evaluating the performance for the employees. So before we dive into the actual implementation of performance management, let's review some basic concepts about how this functionality works. So performance management is divided into three different parts through which the performance is measured for any employee during a given performance monitoring period. So first part is goals and KRA. So in this section, we specify certain goals and assign the goals to team members. This is done usually in the starting of the year when you define what you want to achieve during the year. Then after the goals are assigned, people capture their own achievements against those goals, what they have achieved out of the targets assigned to them. The second part is achievements, where you are capturing anything else that you have done apart from the goals assigned to you. So any ad hoc project, any ad hoc achievement that you have done during the year, that is captured over there. In 360-degree feedback, a person requests feedback on certain predefined questions from three different people, three different types of people. One is the manager, one is the peer group, one is the subordinates. So managers are like people superior to you, peers are the people at same level as you, and subordinates are the people in your team who are reporting to you. So out of all three groups, you select few people, 1 or 2 or 3 person from each group, and then you send a request for feedback to them. Now everybody from these different groups responds to your feedback, and then an average rating is calculated against those predefined questions. So that is how the performance is measured during the entire year. Now let's quickly see how the performance works. When you start with the performance management period, the first step is the submission. Manager assigns certain goals to the employee, and employee accepts those goals. So in this stage, this is usually carried out at the beginning of the period when you are measuring the performance. First of all, certain organization goals are decided. Then managers can decide their own goals and assign new goals to the employees, and the employees accept and submits those goals. Then throughout the year, what happens is managers keep monitoring the performance of the employee against the captured goals and keep giving the feedback that whether you are falling back of your targets or you are meeting the expectations, like that. So that feedback should be given continuously. It should not be kept as a surprise for the year end, and the employee should know that where he is lacking or where he is performing well. And then whatever employee does extra over and above the goals assigned to him or her, they keep capturing that in the achievements. So this is the practice that keeps on going throughout the year. Now at end of the year, what happens is a review cycle starts. So first of all, based on the goals received by the employee and based on the achievements and KRA captured by the employee, they rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 5. So they decide their own rating, then they submits their own rating to the manager, Then manager rates the employee based on his own understanding and based on the achievements submitted by the employee. And then once the manager has also rated the employee, the final rating is done by the HR administrator at a organization level, where the ratings for each and every person is finalized, and based on the ratings their performance is closed. And there are many things which depend on this final rating, like the increments, promotions and appraisal. That everything happens after the ratings are finalized. So that is the entire process of performance and appraisal management in Runtime HRMS. Now we will see the actual implementation, how each of this step, how the goals are set up, how the KRAs are captured, how the achievements are captured by the employees, how 360-degree feedback works, and then we will see the submission cycle, feedback capturing cycle and review cycle by the employee at the end of the performance period. The first thing that we need to do is create some goals and categories. So for that, go to the settings and click on goal categories. Now here you will first define what goals you want to track at an organization level. So before we create goals, we need to create certain goal categories. To keep things simple, let's create two categories. First is financial goals. Here we will be tracking the financial success of the company by assigning certain targets. Then let's create one more category which can be called training goals. In this goal, we will be tracking how we can train our employees and increase the employee overall productivity. The second step is to create a performance period. A period is a duration for which you want to track the performance. It can be a calendar year starting from 1st January to 31st of December, or it can be a financial year starting from April to March. Now to create a period, go to settings and click on performance periods. Currently we do not have any periods, so we'll click on add. The system will automatically generate a name and date range for you, but if you want to change it, like you want to make it from April to March, you can do that, and if you want to change the name of the period, you can do that. This name will be displayed on all the forms where people will be capturing their goals and achievements. Now we click on save and a period is added. Now you will notice that every period has a submission and a rating option. Submission option means that you want to open the period for submission of goals and achievements by various people, and rating means that when you are close to the end of the year where you want to actually rate the employees, you need to turn on the ratings. So before you turn on the submissions, nobody will be able to submit any goals or achievements for this performance period. Now before we turn on the submission, we'll need to add certain goals for the organization. So let's go back and go to organization goals. Here you can select a period. Currently we only have one period, and if you click on show goals, you will see the goals that you have defined. Now let's define certain goals here. So first of all, we need to select the category that we created in previous step, and then we need to define the description of the goal. So let's say acquire 100 customers during this period. So this is a measurable goal where we can measure how many customers we have acquired. So let's take this is a measurable goal, and let's enter the target value. So I'm putting 100 over here because that is what we are targeting, and the measurement unit is number of customers. Roll up method, sum and average. So for certain goals you will have a roll up where you need to sum all the targets achieved by various people to arrive at this number, and in certain cases the roll up method may be average. For example, if you are tracking the NPS score, which is a net promoter score from the customers, in that case whenever a customer submits an NPS score, you need to see the average of the score for all the entire organization. So based on the type of goal that you are defining, you may select sum or average for any particular goal. Now in the target type, you can select higher the better or lower the better. It means that if you are tracking something which you want to be lower, for example, you may be setting a goal for reducing the customer complaints. So in that case, the lower the complaints, it's better. So you will select lower the better. Otherwise, in our case, we are acquiring 100 customers, that's the goal. So higher the better. The more the customers we have, it is better. So accordingly, you need to select all these 4 values and click on save. That will create a organization goal. Now let's create one more goal which is not a measurable goal, but it's just a trackable goal. So let's select training goals and say so we have defined a goal, upskill employees on people management. Now this is not a measurable goal. In case it is a measurable goal, for example, you want to track how many employees are trained on this particular skill, you can still do that. But for this example, we are creating a goal which is not a measurable goal. So we only need to capture how many people we have upskilled, or people will capture their own skill levels for this goal, but we will not be monitoring any value against this goal. This is just for example purposes. Now I have created this goal. There is no target assigned to this goal, and we have got 2 goals in our organization. Now at this stage, please note that these are organization goals. When you assign these goals to managers or other people in the organization, they will still be able to define their own goals. So these are the organization goals which will be trackable for the entire organization, but individuals may have their independent goals also. Now we'll go back to the index page for the performance management dashboard, and over here we can now start the period for submissions. So if you remember, we go back to the performance periods, and if you remember, we have a submission option here. So since we have defined the organization goals, the period is now ready for submission, so we can actually send the forms to employees and they can start their submissions. So I'll select turn on the submissions, yes, and now the period is successfully activated for submission. Also note that this period is not related to the payroll periods that we track from here. These periods are for payroll management, like for a monthly basis, you may have a period starting from 1st of January to 31st of January for the payroll processing. Now this period is a performance period, so it is usually 1 year over which you can monitor the performance. It is also possible that you can create a 6-month period if you want to track the performance separately for 6 months and another 6 months for the year. That is quite possible, but overall usually it is 1 year. Now we'll go back to the dashboard and we can see that currently this period is active and this is the status. So we have total 17 employees in the organization and nothing else is there, so we will cover each and everything step by step now. Now before we start sending the forms to the employees, we need to make sure that the organization structure is correctly set up. For checking the organization structure, go to org chart, and here you will see the organization structure. If you happen to see multiple people when you open this page, it means that there are multiple people for whom a reporting manager is not assigned. So those people who do not have a reporting manager will appear as an option from here to select the organization chart starting point. In case you have only one person whose reporting manager is not assigned, then the chart will open just like you are seeing it right now. So only this person who is the president and CEO does not have a reporting manager. So the org chart starts at this level. Now you can see there are 3 people who are reporting to this person, and then there are further 3 people who are reporting to this person who is the assistant vice president. If you click here, you will see further people who are reporting to this person, and then their designations like manager, senior manager, and then further they may have reportees under them. So if you click over here, Paresh Agarwal, 3 reportees, you will see people who are reporting to him. So that way you can verify first of all that your organization structure is set up correctly because whenever you assign goals and track performance of the employees, it will move on the organization hierarchy. So if the hierarchy is not correct, the forms will not be sent correctly, and then people will not be able to monitor the performance of their team members. So once you have verified the organization structure is in place, you can simply go to appraisal forms. here we select a period and click on show forms, and you will see the list of all the employees and the status of their appraisal form. So the first default status is not started, which means that there is no appraisal form created for this employee and no progress has been taken so far. The first step when you do this is to release the forms. Now, to understand the process, first you have created the organization goals, and now you are releasing the forms to certain people so that they can further send the forms to their reportees. So since we have the organization structure in place, we simply need to click on release forms and select one person or one designation over here. So I'm selecting president and CEO, which means that the form will be sent to this person, Abhishek Naik, who is the president and CEO, and then he will be able to send it to his team members by adding his own goals or defining his own goal. So as an organization goals, the starting point is the top person in the organization, from where the goals will further flow down to the team members. Now you can select multiple people, multiple designations over here, but that is not recommended because it will send the forms to multiple people and they will get directly assigned the organization goals. You also have an option here to notify the employees when you are sending the forms, so they'll get an email notification that their performance form is ready and they can take further action. So first of all, I'll simply select president and CEO and release the form. Now the form status is changed to sent. So this means that the form is sent to this employee, and then this is the last action when the form was sent. Now we need to see the forms from an employee perspective, how they can act on the forms and how they can further send it to their employees. So for that purpose, I request you to keep the organization structure in mind, because everything from here onwards will follow the organization structure. So the only thing we need to remember right now is that this person is the president and CEO, and we will start from here and then we will go maybe 2 level down. So we will see the performance form for this person, Samir Parikh, and we will see the performance form for this person. So once the forms are assigned to this person's direct reports, then they will be able to further assign to their direct reports. So we will see 2 levels down so as to understand the entire process. So let's get started by viewing the form as Abhishek Naik, who is the president and CEO. To access the form as an employee, we have to go to the Runtime Connect portal and then log in as an employee. So we are putting in the username of Abhishek and the password, and we are signing in. So now we are signed in as the president and CEO. To access performance management features, simply go to the performance icon here and you will be able to see this dashboard. Now there are many items over here: goals, achievements, feedback, rating and team members. But we will start with the goals. So if you remember, we created 2 organization goals. One of them was a measurable goal and another was a non-measurable goals. Now since we have sent the form to only one person, the organization goals are automatically assigned to this person. If we click on goals, we will be able to see the 2 goals assigned to this person. So acquire 100 customers and upskill employees. There are no self-created goals right now over here, which employee can create their own goals. But you will also notice that we do not see an option to add a new goal. That's because of the options and settings in the performance management. So let's go back to the performance management once again and click on the general options. So we'll spend a quick time over here to understand various options. So options for employee means add goals before submission. So before the employee submits his or her form committing to his or her goals, they can add their own goals if you turn on this option. So let's turn this on. Then add goals after submission. If you want to allow employees to add goals even after they have submitted their form, which is like a confirmation of their agreed upon goals, they can still add more goals. So for that you can pick this option. Add achievements. So allow this to add achievements, so people can add their other achievements apart from the organization goals, what they have done during the year. And then we have 360-degree feedback, which we will discuss separately. So let's turn that on also. And these are the options for managers. So managers can add goals before sending to employee. Now here, when a manager sends an appraisal form to his or her employee, whether they can add own goals or not, like assign new goals to the team member or not. So for that, let's stick it on and then add goals after sending to employee. Usually when the form is sent to the employee, it is agreed upon that what goals are required to be achieved, so no further goals should be added. But if you want to allow this option also, you can turn it on. So I have turned on all the options right now to at least see what all options are appearing on the forms. Now let's go back to the performance goals on the employee self-service portal and refresh this page. Now you will see an option add goal here. So these are the two goals which are assigned to this person by the organization, but if they want to add some more goals for themselves, they can do it. So now let's say this person wants to add one more goal. You can select a parent goal, which means that the new goal that you are going to add is linked to this original organization goal. What happens after you select a parent goal is whatever achievements are done against this new goal will be rolled up into the parent goal. So for example, the parent goal is acquire 100 customers. Now if this person adds a new goal for himself that he wants to acquire 10 customers on his own, and he selects the acquire 100 customers as the parent goal, then whatever achievement he does against his own goal will be added to the parent goal. So we will understand more about it when we capture some more data, but let's say acquire 10 customers on my own. So this is a goal that he has created for himself and he has entered a target of 10. These other values are coming from the parent goal, so they cannot be edited because you have selected a parent goal over here. Now let's save it. So this is a new goal and the parent goal is acquire 100 customers during this period. Let's add one more goal, which is a self-created goal, and we do not select a parent over here. We will simply select a goal category, training goals. So let's say read 10 books during the year. Let's be more specific, 10 books of management during the year. Now if you want to create it as a measurable goal, you can still do it. You can specify a target number, unit and roll up method, but in case you do not want to track it, you can simply leave it blank and then you can later on add the achievements whenever you complete any part of this goal. For example, if the person reads one book, he will add that I have completed this book, and he can put the title of the book, and then again when he reads second book he can add that. So manually also he can track that whether he has read all the 10 books or not, but in case you want to track the numbers, you can create it as a measurable goal. So the main difference is when the goals are delegated to certain people down the line and you want a roll up to happen automatically for achievements done by various people, then you should create a measurable goal. But when the goal is just a personal goal for yourself to track the progress, you can simply create a non-measurable goal. So let's create it as a non-measurable goal and save it. Now we have two goals. One is measurable and linked to the parent, and another is a non-measurable goal which is not linked to any other goal. So it is created directly by this person. And there are 4 goals in total now. If you go back to the performance dashboard, you will see there are 4 goals now. The second step is when the employee has completed assigning goals to himself and whatever targets he want to achieve, they will submit the goals for manager's approval. Now in this particular case, this is the top person of the organization, so there is no manager to submit the goals, but we will see how to submit goals to the manager in the next step when we assign these forms to the team members and then we go one level down. So let's not submit this form because it will not go anywhere, but let's go back and click on team members. Now this person has got 3 members reporting to him directly, and he can see that these are the 3 people, their name and designation, and this is the form status. So it says not sent. So the form is not sent to the employees who are reporting to this person. You may notice then when the organization is sending the forms, it is sending only to one person, and then when this person is sending the form, it is sending to the further reportees of this person. Now for this particular first employee, let's go to goals. So before we assign this form to further team members and monitor the performance at a lower level, let's see few more things related to the own performance management. So go back to the goals and see an option, we have a add KRA. KRA usually means key responsibility area or key results area, where a person tracks the performance against a particular goal. Whatever we see now in terms of adding the KRA is same for all the employees when we go one level down or two level down. But just to understand the concept, now let's assume that this person has acquired one customer. So in the self created goal, he has got a target of achieving 10 customer, acquiring 10 customers, and now he is able to acquire one customer. So he'll add an KRA and he'll say acquired company XYZ in July 22. So whatever description you want to write, you want to describe how you achieved it, you can put it here. And since it's a measurable goal, you can specify the target achieved. Now if I select one here and save this result, you will notice multiple things happening over here. Against this self defined goals, there is one KRA which says achieved one number of customers, achieved 1, the target is 10, and the total achievement is 1. Now suppose I achieve one more customer in next month, I can again add more KRA and then keep this number will keep on adding. But you can also notice that since this is a goal linked to this parent goal, if you look at the parent goal also, you will get total achieved one customer. So the achievements on over here are getting rolled up into the parent goal. Similarly, if this goal is assigned to people down the line and whoever achieves anything against this goal, it will roll up directly into the organization goal, parent goal. Now suppose you have entered some comments incorrectly and you want to edit it, you can do that. So for example, let's say this person actually converted 2 clients, not 1, acquired company XYZ and company PQR in July, and the target achieved was 2. So we'll say 2 and we'll save it again. So now the target achieved is 2 and the total target achieved also 2 on the parent goal. Now it may also happen that you do not want to edit it and you acquired one more customer in the next month, so you want to add it as a separate KRA. So you can click add KRA once again and you can say acquired one more customer, company ABC in August 22, and let's say target achieved 1 and save the results. So now you will see 2 KRA over here, 2 customers achieved, 1 customer achieved, total achievement 3, and then total achievement in the parent goal 3. So that's how the roll up automatically happens. Since in this case the roll up method was sum, it is totaling up the number of achievements. But if the metric is something where you want to track the number at an organization level, which is an average of all the achievements done by various people, then you can select the roll up method as average. So in this case it is sum, that's why it is summing up all the achievements. There is one more thing to notice here, which is edit and delete button. So whenever you create a self created goal, you can always delete it and edit it, because it is created for yourself by your own purpose, then you can edit it. Now what happens is, suppose you assign this goal to one of your subordinate in the team member and then you try to delete it, then the goal will be deleted from all the team members down the line also. So you have to be careful when defining self goal and then assigning it to your team members, because in that case if you delete it, the deletion will be cascading effect. So before going into the team management where you will assign the goals to your team members, let's go back to the performance management dashboard and see the numbers. Now you can see that there are total 17 employees. One form is sent, which is the president and CEO. None of the forms are accepted, none of the forms are rated, and no other metric is there. Now if you go to appraisal forms and select the period and click show forms, you will again see all the forms, and then this form is sent, which is the president's form. Now let's click on view form. So over here you will see the goals, achievements and feedback. So achievements and feedback we will discover in just a bit. For this purpose, let's see the goals. So these are the goals which were assigned to this employee by the organization, and these are the 2 goals which were created by this employee himself. So it is marked as self created. Now this is the target. So total 100 number of customers are required and total achievement is 3. Again, this is a self created goal. 10 customers are to be acquired and 3 is the achievement. So similarly, you can track the performance of any employee using this page, where as an HR administrator you can access the form of any person during the period of appraisal also, not necessarily at end of the appraisal, and you can track how much achievement is already done. Now let's see how a manager can assign goals and send appraisal form to a subordinate. So over here we will go to the team members option and we see 3 team members. Let's click on goals and you can see the form status not sent. There are no goals assigned yet to this team member. And to see the manager's own goal, like manager is the person who has logged in, if they want to see their own goals, they can again see it here. These are the organization goals, this 100 and this one, and these are the self created goals. Now if the manager wants to assign one of the goals that he already has in his own form, he can do that. Otherwise, if they want to add a completely new goal, they can also do that. So let's do both the things to understand it more clearly. Now in this case, the president has got a target of acquiring 100 customers. 10 customers he has kept for his own acquisition. So he is saying that he wants to acquire 10 customers on his own. The remaining 90 customers are to be acquired by his team members. So for this team member, let's assign a target and let's select the acquire 100 customers parent goal and acquire 50 customers. So we are assigning a target of acquiring 50 customers by this team member and save it. So this team member now has a goal to acquire 50 customers. Again, we can add a new goal and simply not link it to any parent and assign it directly to the employee. So let's select training goals and let's say complete 6 Sigma training. And let's not make it a measurable goal. It's just like they need to complete this training. Now I have assigned 2 goals to this team member, and after I have added at least one goal, I can send this form. Send this form means the form will be sent to the employee and then they can review it, they can see their targets, they can then capture the KRA against their own targets, they can create their own goals and so on. So let's send it. It will ask for a confirmation whether you want to send the form. Sending form will make it accessible to the team member for adding own goals and KRA. You can still monitor member progress and performance from this page. So let's send it. After sending, the form status changes to sent, and now you can still add more goals. Now this is a setting which enables you to add goals even after the form is sent to the employee. Let's see the setting once again. We will go to performance management and general options. Here you can see for manager we have a setting saying add goals after sending to employee. So if this setting is on, the manager can still add goals. Now let's disable this setting and refresh this page. Now you do not see the add goal option because the form is sent to the employee and the manager cannot add more goals. So that is how this setting works. Now in the next step, what we will do is we will see this form from the team member's perspective, that is this person's perspective. So he will see these 2 goals assigned to him and then he can further send it to his own team members and so on. So that is how the goals are escalated from top to bottom and everybody tracks their performance. Okay, so I have logged in as the user to whom we have just assigned the goals from the president. So this user is Manmit Kurana, assistant vice president, and now we are on the performance page. So this team member can see they have got 2 goals, and these 2 goals are acquire 50 customers and the parent goal is acquire 100 customers. Again, there is another goal, complete 6 Sigma training, and then this person can add their own goals to it. Here you can add goal and let's say a training goal, complete training, So another non-measurable goal, you can add it like this, and then for the goals which are assigned by the manager, you can add KRA in the similar fashion as we added KRA in the precedence form. So let's add one more KRA over here. Acquired 2 customers in July, and let's put 2, save result. So this person has acquired 2 customers out of 50, and if now I go back to the original form which was sent by the president, let's see here what happens is the total target achieved is 5 now. So basically 2 plus 1 3 is what is achieved by this person himself, and 2 is what is achieved by their team member. So that's why the total target achieved is 5 now for the main parent goal. But if you go to the performance and see the team members again, you can see that this form is sent to the employee, and if I go here goals, I can see what they have captured. So as a manager, I can see the form of my team member, what they have captured, KRA and everything, and as a my own performance, I can see the goals from here. So I hope this makes clear how goals are assigned to the team member and how targets are tracked from bottom to top for the entire organization. Now let's see how an employee submits their own goal. So after this employee has completed, added their own goals and accepted whatever goals are assigned by the manager, and the discussion is done about acceptance of these goals, they can then submit this form. Submitting this form means you have discussed the same with your manager and agree to them. You can add KRA against each goal after submission, right? So that way we submit the goals. So after submitting the goals, you can still add KRA to track your performance against these assigned goals, and you can still add goals. Now let's briefly talk about this add goal option. Since this form is now submitted, but you can still add more goals. So this again is linked to the setting on the performance options. So let's quickly go back to the performance options, and you can see over here we have given an option for the employee that add goals after submission. So this option enables you to add goals even after you have submitted the form. If you do not want employees to be able to add new goals after they have submitted the form, you can simply disable this option. Now after disabling, if I refresh this page, this add goals option will not appear. So employee cannot add more goals here. So in this way we have discussed how you can capture your own goals, you can capture KRA against the goals. Let's now discuss about the achievements. So going back to the own form of the president himself, let's do it from here. If you go to achievements, you can see no achievements added yet. So achievement is simply a text capture where there is nothing measurable, but you are only capturing what you have done apart from the normal organization goals assigned to you. Maybe you have completed some project, maybe you have helped a colleague, maybe you have done something which is not expected out of your normal work profile. So you can add those kind of achievements over here. As an example, let's add one achievement here. Helped hiring managers to shortlist. So as a random, I'm just capturing a text here, and this will be stored. So you can again edit it. You can add more achievements over here. What it helps to do is at end of the year, when the performance appraisal time comes in, you will remember what all extra things you have done throughout the year. Because when you do such small things which are not part of your KRA, which are not part of your goals, then you basically do not record them anywhere, and at end of the year you do not have a chance to show what you have done additionally. So as a good practice, you should always keep capturing the additional achievements you have done. Maybe you have got a reward, maybe you have got awarded, or maybe you have been applauded by a team member. So those all kind of achievements can be captured over here, and they can be later on referred to when performing the appraisal. So far we have discussed about goals and achievements. Now the next topic is 360-degree feedback. So if you go back to the performance management, you will also find an option to configure the 360-degree feedback questions. So as explained earlier in this video, a 360-degree feedback is a feedback received from peers, subordinates and superiors, and it gives an overall average feedback of a person rated on various questions set by the organization. So first of all, we need to define certain questions that we want to ask to the employee when giving a feedback. So to define the questions, let's go to settings and 360-degree feedback questions. Over here, there are no questions added. So let's add a question by first adding a category. So communication skills. I have added one category, communication skills. Let's add one more. Okay, so 2 categories are added. Now we can add questions within these categories. Now to frame a question, we can use the employee name in the actual question. So for that, you can use this field which will replace with the employee name. So what I'm going to say is employee name a good communicator? Now when the person who is responding to the 360-degree feedback, when he'll see this question, this will be replaced by the actual employee name. So for example, let's assume that the form is being filled for Manmeet Khurana that we have as an employee. So the question will become, is Manmeet Khurana a good communicator? Like that. Let's add one more question in the second category, interpersonal skills. So I'm just making up a question. You can put your own questions. You can refer to various materials available on this topic. This is a very popular topic, 360-degree feedback. You can find a lot of questions online also. You can pick up the best ones from there. So we have added 2 questions, communication skills and interpersonal skills, in each one question in each category. Now the next step is, when you have selected the questions, what you will see is on the performance monitoring page of the employee, you will see this feedback option, and the first thing you will notice is your self rating is not submitted. Please submit self rating to be able to send request for feedback. So basically what happens is, in a 360-degree feedback, the person first needs to rate himself or herself in order to get feedback from others. So I would assess myself on the questions selected in the questionnaire of 360-degree feedback, that how do I rate myself on a scale from 1 to 5. Then after I have rated myself, I will select certain candidates from whom I want the feedback. So in that case, I will select some of my superiors, some of my peers and some of my subordinates. And when everybody responds back to it, the response in average will be compared to my own rating. So let's start by rating myself. This is the feedback form for this employee which is logged in right now, and please rate the following questions from scale 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. Now communication skills, is Abhishek Naik a good communicator? So you can see that the first name was replaced by the name of the person for whom we are responding. So let's select 5 over here. And interpersonal skills, is Abhishek Naik good in presenting himself during official meetings? Let's rate 4 here and submit this form. It can have more questions, but we have just now done it with 2 questions. Now after I have submitted my own feedback, I can send it for receiving this feedback from other people. So I can first go to members and I will see what all members are available. So since this is the top level executive, there are no peers, there are no superiors, there are only subordinates. So only subordinates can rate him. But in case it was someone else below the chain of command, then they will also have peers, they will also have superiors. So let's now send this request to this person. You can customize a message which will be sent to that person. The system generates a automatic message over for you. I am looking for feedback on my strengths and weakness. would you help me with your valuable feedback? This feedback will be completely anonymous. So basically we do not retain or we do not show the name of the person who has actually responded, and the responses are basically averaged out for a particular person, and they can see the average response mixed from all the feedback that he or she has received. So it is not shown that who has given what feedback. Now let's send this request. The request is sent over here, and if we go back to this person's login which was here, and if I go to the feedback, I will see that this is the feedback received and this is the feedback given. So in the given option, I will see there are total 1 requests and 1 is pending. So this request from the superior has come now here, and this person needs to respond to that request. He can also self-rate himself before sending it to his own team members for getting feedback, but right now we are focusing on the request received for feedback. Let's go here, and you can see that this person has sent a request. We'll open it, and then again same 2 questions. Is this person a good communicator? Is this person good in presenting himself? So let's rate differently now. So we'll rate 4 and 3 here. In the original we rated 5 and 4. Now we are rating 4 and 3 to see actually how the numbers compare. Submit. If I go back to the original person who has sent the request in, and I go to feedback, now I can see the results. So although only 1 person has responded, I have sent it to 1 person and 1 person has completed, and there is only 1 feedback. But if there are multiple feedbacks, you would see the mixed results. Now if you go to results, this is the self rating, this is the average rating. Now let's suppose there were more than 1 respondents to this feedback for this person, then you would see an average rating. So suppose 1 person responded 4, another responded 5, you will see 4.5 here. Now same in this case of if 1 person responded 3, other person responded 4, then you would see 3.5 here. So that way this person will only see the average rating received from others and not the actual name of the person who has responded. In this case there is only 1 respondent, that's why we know that what they have responded. Otherwise it is an average rating and the feedback is completely anonymous. Okay, so now in this section we will see how the rating happens at end of the performance period. So during the entire year people will keep on capturing their achievements and their targets achieved against the goals assigned to them, and they'll keep on giving the feedback, 360-degree feedback, and receive the feedback. But at end of the year, when the performance period is about to close or has closed already, then the HR manager or HR administrator, whoever is managing the software, they need to come in here, go to the performance periods, and they need to enable the rating. So after enable the rating, people will be able to rate themselves against the performance they have done during the entire year. So let's enable rating for this period. Now once the rating is enabled, we will go back to the employee form, and then we have submitted the goals, we have submitted the achievements, and now we go to the rating. Here you will see, since the rating is enabled, this option will show up, otherwise it will not show up. There are 3 stages to the rating: self rating, manager rating, and final rating. So at right now we are at the self rating stage, and you can see the ratings legend here. 1 is for unacceptable, 2 is for need improvement, 3 is for meets expectation, 4 is exceeds expectations, and 5 is outstanding. This is a standard rating criteria followed all across the world, so we have not made any changes to that, and a 5 scale rating is the standard rating. So let's say this person wants to rate himself as 4. So I'll say 4. The system will ask for a confirmation. You have selected this rating. Ratings once submitted cannot be modified. Are you sure you want to submit this rating? So yes. Now self rating is submitted. The employee has rated himself. Now the second step is manager rating. So who is the manager of this person? Again we go back to this person and we go back to the team members. Now you can see the form status has changed, employee rated. So now this you can view the goals of this person, the KRAs that they have mentioned against the goals, whatever they have achieved during the year. You can see the achievements from here, whatever achievements they have submitted. You can see the feedback that they have received by going to the feedback. Right now we do not have any feedback for this person. Now the last option is rating. So if you go to ratings, then you will see that the person has rated himself as 4, and then based on your own assessment of the achievements of the goal, targets, KRA, you can now rate this person again. So suppose you also decides to rate 4, submit rating. So now the rating is submitted and you won't see the selection again. So the two-step process is done. So employee is rated now. The final rating will be done by the HR administrator, which is usually done for the entire organization at a much broader level and not at an individual level. So for that rating, we will go to the performance management again, and we will go to appraisal forms. Once we load the forms, you can see that this person has been rated by the manager. So if I open the form, I will see these are the goals that he has achieved, these are the achievements that they have added, these are the feedback that he has received from various people, and now I can rate him. So again, at an organization, let's say the rating is 3, you can rate 3, and now you have all the 3 ratings: employee rated 4, manager rated 4, final rating 3. So that's how you complete a rating at end of the performance period.